Hello, everyone. This is Rick with the Cyber Pro podcast. Super happy to be here with everybody. And Scott is going to be my guest today. 5 questions in about 9 minutes because hackers never sleep. Scott, kick us off. Who are you and what do you do?
Hi, everybody. Scott Lyons. My hacker handle is Casper. For the last couple of years, I've been running Red Lion. You can find us at redlion.io. We specialize in information security services, from compliance to engineering to pen testing to basically any type of service that is security for business.
Scott, why do you love being a cyber expert?
Because the field doesn't change, but it changes. You know, there's always something new to do. There's a new place to help companies basically survive. I mean, we've seen an absolute bloodbath over the last couple of quarters, and that all stems from companies not doing the right things inside of their security maturity programs. You know, and it also stems from companies wanting to make sure that the ROI on their products is constantly there, so that way they don't have to spend on security.
Is there any part of what you do in the cyber world that you just love more than the rest?
Helping companies heal from attacks. So being able to get into do the incident response and the forensics and recover businesses is always a very fun challenge, because it's a puzzle. You know, you want to see what other hackers are doing. You want to see what attackers are doing. You want to be able to see how the company gets compromised. And at the end of the day, you know, wave the correct flag color that, you know, you help the business.
That's amazing. We hear today, and this is a good segue to this, we hear today that cybersecurity is a top concern. And I use air quotes oftentimes for that, but what does that mean to you?
What that means to me is that companies aren't paying enough attention to cyber. You know, we keep seeing businesses get breached left and right, and whether it's because of social engineering or phishing or other means, right, like USBs and so on and so forth. The variety of attacks is always an interesting landscape to look at from an advanced threat perspective, right? So, what cybersecurity really means to me, which is where I think you were going with that question, being able to protect your business and being able to understand what risk you're incurring by doing business, right? What a lot of people don't understand is that risk and debt have a one-to-one relationship. They're the exact same thing, right? So if we can help companies understand their risk, we can help them understand their financial debt. And a lot of companies just don't put enough money towards mitigation of that risk and the takedown, if you will, wrong words, but you get what I'm saying, of the debt.
So what insight do you want to share with other cyber professionals?
DFIU first, to borrow it from DEF CON. You know, don't ever stop having a thirst for knowledge and keep learning. You got to look into all the little nooks and crannies and try to understand as much as possible. You know, when we're going through certifications such as the CISSP, you know, we're taught that it's a mile wide, inch deep. Well, I'm sitting here saying, go the mile wide, but also go the mile deep. You know, be as impactful as possible, because you never know when that knowledge is going to come up. For other for other security professionals, you know, me personally, whenever I go to a conference, I go there to network and to meet other people and to meet other professionals. You know, if you see a talk at a conference that you want to go to, great, go to the talk. But you need to set a goal in meeting 6 different people, you know, and making connections that will be meaningful and impactful for you down the road.
I can't agree more. I think networking is underutilized by the security professional, maybe not the sales professional, but the security professional. So I appreciate that insight.
Yeah.
Fun question for you, Scott. What's your favorite piece of retro technology that makes you smile?
Oh, geez, man. It would have to be either the Atari or the original Nintendo, which I actually have sitting up above me in its original packaging, because it was the age of innocence for computing. You know, personally, I grew up on a Apple IIe and then moved to a DEC Alpha. You know, way back in the day when SCSI drives were the thing. You know, before we had UPnP. So anytime that we can go back to that age of innocence of, you know, well before sophisticated cyber attacks coming from nation states or, you know, hackers in other countries that don't have extradition to the US, just wreaking absolute havoc on businesses, you know, it's funny. I've heard recently a lot of people say, well, you know, the cyber war just started. And I'm like, it started really back in 93, 94. I mean, let's be honest, you know? So anytime that we can go back to a place of security, like safety wise, right? The innocence wise, all for it. You know, that nostalgia is just so key to a lot of people.
That's great. Thank you so much, Scott, for being on the podcast.
Sure, no problem.
You did it. You made it to the end. Check us out for future podcasts and more content.